Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Salamun Alaikum. Warm welcomes to all of you on another episode of the program, Women or Ladies of Ashura. We have been talking about, actually we went to some very deep discussions about the historical view to women in the religion of Islam. Then we talked about the categorization based on which we presented to our discussion. We said that the women of Ashura can be divided into three categories. The first is the women who were indirectly preparing themselves and their children for assisting Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. The second category is the women who were present in the event of Ashura, and the third category is the women who lamented the martyrdom of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein and his family and companions. We were talking to you about the second category. Last time we finished with Rabab, the beloved wife of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Today we want to talk about another of the wives of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, Shahr Banu.
Thank you, Fatima. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all dear brothers and sisters who are watching another episode of the series Ladies of Ashura. Hopefully by getting introduced to all these personalities, we are able to get closer to understand the spirit of Islam and can help our children to walk in the path of the Ahlul Bayt and to be the supporters of the Imam of their time. So Shahr Banu was one other wife of another wife of Imam al-Hussein, who is said to be the daughter of Yazgerd, a Persian king or commander, and she was taken as a captive to the city, to Saudi Arabia. And when Ali alayhi salam told her that who would you like to get married to, her answer was very beautiful. I really liked it. She said, I want a head over whom there is no head. So she was very cautious and alert. She had made up her mind. She knew what she wanted from life. She had a very good meaning of life. Like usually when they ask you, so what do you want from life? Like, I'm still trying to find what I'm looking for. I haven't decided yet. Maybe I'm going to go on a vacation. I'm going to go for a 2-year trip to India. I'm going to do some meditation. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But this lady was well decided. She knew what she wanted from life. So she wanted someone who is spiritually an elite person in that society. So she married with Imam al-Hussein, and the fruit of their marriage was Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, Zain al-Abidin. One of the beautiful Islamic sources that I usually refer to gain more insight and more understanding about the religion of Islam is the book of Sahifa al-Sajjadiyya of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, where in the form of prayers he talks about different issues. Actually, a couple of days ago I was watching a video on Instagram, and this lady was saying that you can look at the Sahifa al-Sajjadiyya from different perspectives, and from each perspective you can get a different answer. From each angle you can get the answer to the question you have in mind. If you have a political question, look at it that way and you get your answer. If you have a spiritual angle, look at it and you will get your answer. If you have a psychological aspect, you will get your answer. And I thought for a moment, and I was like, it's totally true. So through the lineage, through the marriage of Shahr Banu and Imam al-Hussein, Ali ibn al-Hussein or Imam Sajjad was born, and the fruit of Ali ibn al-Hussein and Fatima bint Hassan, her cousin, was Imam Baqir alayhi salam. So you see, in the 12 Imams that we have, 9 of them are from the lineage of Imam al-Hassan and Imam al-Hussein, because Imam al-Hassan's daughter Fatima married Imam al-Hussein's son, Imam Sajjad or Ali ibn al-Hussein, and through them we have the rest of the Shiite Imams. So moving on to the third category of women, again, as we mentioned in the first or second program, we have Lady al-Banin or Fatima Kalabiyya, that Fatima beautifully mentioned how the efforts she put in the upbringing of her son, Abul Fazl Abbas.
Alayhi salam. Exactly. So al-Banin was not only active in the first phase or in the first category where she actually educated and she trained her children to be the lovers of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. She always made sure that her sons knew that this Hussein and this Hassan are superior to them. Why? Because they are selected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be an imam. And after the event of Ashura finishes, and Imam al-Hussein and the captives are brought back, she, who is living in Medina, would take the hands of her kids, and she would take the hand of her grandson, the son of Abul Fadl, and she would go to the Baqi cemetery and she would start lamenting, and she would do it in a loud way that people would come around her and they would ask what's going on, and they would listen to the story and they would start crying. So through her lamentations, other people remembered Imam Hussein alayhi salam and the event of Ashura and what happened to Imam Hussein alayhi salam and to his companions and his family members, and she kept this event alive.
So Fatima, when I was actually going through the story of Banin or Fatima Kalabiya, suddenly something that struck me was her method of preaching or making live the message of the Holy Prophet. And because Imam Hussein alayhi salam was nothing but reviving the traditions of his grandfather Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So how can we learn from Banin in our time? What strategies, what techniques can we use to get our messages across when politically speaking, sometimes we are the minority, so how can we possibly learn from her? So the two techniques that I learned from her were her private lamentation sessions where she had at home, and she would invite the ladies of Medina and they would all join her. And this way she kept alive the truth of Islam, which is nothing more than the noble Quran and the way of the Sunnah of the Ahlul Bayt. Fatima, a couple of days ago I was doing a research about Lady Zainab alayhi salam because we learned about her that she's alimatun ghayra muallama. She was a knowledgeable, wise lady whom she did not need a teacher. And it's actually, you can have two interpretations from this. Either that she did not need any teacher because she was so knowledgeable herself, or she wasn't even taught in the first place and she became so knowledgeable. And there was a discussion between Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein, and this is in their childhood. And she joins in the discussion and she talks about what can lead to someone's prosperity in life? What is the key to someone's happiness or to someone's success? And she says that there are two very important issues. Number one, doing the wajibat, and two, abstaining from the muharramat, as easy as that. And in the middle, there are some dubious points. There's some things that you have doubts about, trying to avoid those, because that's the slippery part of religion, where you don't know where you're putting your step. You think that, no, I'm going to be careful, I'm just when I'm approaching it, I'm going to do this dubious thing, but I'm just going to be super careful about myself not to fall into the trap. But when you just go forward, then you lose control.
Yes, that's right. So if there's nothing else to mention,
There's a lot to mention, not enough time.
Inshallah, in the next programs, thank you all so much for joining us. Until another one, may the peace and blessings of Allah shower upon you all.